And for me, yep, great. Okay, so we're talking about events tonight, and events is something that I've had quite a bit of experience in, and which is why it was really great for me to share with you guys, because we can go through not only just sort of the ins and outs of running events and sort of the things that you need to be prepared for and the things that you should be considering and thinking before you launch your event or participate in an event of any kind. But I also really want to share with you some actual real life stuff from some of the events that I've done, which is, I think, really valuable because when you see sometimes what other people have done, that's often what makes a really big difference and really gets you to think about what you're going to plan to do. It gives you hints and tips and ideas. So, and now that we're a little bit behind time, I will skip over a couple of these individual things, but to give you a little bit of perspective on this is I actually started out doing business events through my PASH business, and it was one of the things that really helped me grow my business majorly. Like in that first few years, events is what helped me to propel my business forward and to make a really big difference to my sales, my bookings, my recruitment. It really did change the face of what I was doing, as opposed to just doing face-to-face parties and that sort of thing. It really helped that growth explode and had a lot of great success and a lot of great fun with it as well, because events are amazingly fun and great for you and great for your team as well. Throughout these modules, as you can see, we've got a variety of different training opportunities, and we just previously, if any new consultants that you have joining your teams, we have got new consultant training available for them about launching their business and actually getting down to business, which is the art of doing their parties and making sales and really getting their business moving forward. We're participating at the moment in consultant training about events. And we've also, if you're interested, got some leadership training available once a month. So if you are a leader, a current leader, if you're an aspiring leader, or if you're not even sure quite what that means yet, but you'd like to have a look at what that opportunity might open for you, we also have leadership training available for you. So please just let Jo know if you're interested in that. We'd love to have you on board with that. So getting started with our events training tonight, firstly, I thought I'd just pop up a few different ideas of events that you might be able to do in your local areas. Bridal fairs, women's expos. So sometimes we've got things like about the women's expo. Sometimes there are specific, I suppose, niches within that area as well, that little mini events and things that come up that are really worthwhile. There are lots of fundraising events. Girls' Night In is one of the most well-known events, but there are lots of other fundraisers and events that you can get involved in through your PASH business that might be of interest to you. There are ladies' nights, which of course we'll hear from Nakia a little bit later on about her ladies' nights, which are always really fun. Fates, and there are lots of different fates held by lots of different organisations in the communities that you can get involved in. And because our core message about sexual wellness, it really covers lots of age groups. Fates are a really great way to get in and meet women in lots of different areas within your communities. You've got your local shows, and I did hear recently that someone thought that they were becoming a bit outdated and forgotten. So this is a really, I think, a great opportunity to keep that tradition alive, but to bring into your community in that way as well through your local shows, especially if you're in a regional area. Our Chicks at the Flicks, and I know Jo has got a great picture that she can put up in the Facebook group about different Chicks at the Flicks events and different, I suppose, towns and regional areas and cities and suburbs and things like that that host Chicks at the Flicks. Are a really great opportunity to have a stall at those types of events. And of course, any industry-related events to do with sexual wellness and that kind of in the adult industry. So there are lots and lots, as you can see, of opportunities for you to host events within your community, and also in the hours, I suppose, a couple of hours drive from your community as well, depending on where you are. So why are events so valuable for your business? And before I even share this bit with you, I really wanted you to understand that it doesn't matter whether you've been in business a week, a month, a year, or 10 years. At any stage of your business, events are valuable for the following reasons. So I want to share these with you. Don't feel like because you might be a newer consultant that you're not ready to do events or that you're not allowed to do events, because it is quite the opposite and can be fabulous for your business. So it gives you a face-to-face opportunity to meet fresh new faces. And we've talked in our new consultant training about making fresh leads and making sure that we're meeting lots of new people. This is an opportunity for you to meet a larger amount of people in the one space and speak to them face-to-face about anything to do with your business, whether it is sales, bookings, recruitment, or sexual wellness or otherwise. So it is a really great chance for you to actually meet and speak with some other fresh people, fresh new people. The other opportunity it gives you, depending on the kind of event that you want to go and exhibit at, it actually is enabling you to market to your niche, and it strengthens your business presence within your community. Now, if you haven't heard of a niche before, a niche really is a really pretty word that really talks about who your target market is. To give you a perfect example, if you're going to exhibit at a bridal fair, your niche market is bridesmaids, brides, hens parties. So you're able to really target what you're delivering at your events to a specific target market of your community and a specific group of people. And I see a lot of women in business who sometimes think that everybody is their niche, but I think that we do better when we really decide on what that narrower end of our niche really is and what the purpose of our event is for that particular group. So bridal fairs is the perfect example to give you where your niche really is those bridesmaids, those brides, and of course securing in those hens parties. So it almost like is like shooting fish in a barrel, if I could use that expression as well. It's a great opportunity for lead generation, for parties and recruitment. And this is the ding, ding, ding big one, in that you actually can get names, phone numbers, emails, you can talk to people, you can make bookings, you can make business appointments, because people are coming to see what you do. They can see everything that you have there on display. They're able to speak to you about the opportunity or speak to you about a party, and you're able to get that lead information, which is what gives you all of those great bookings and team development as well. It's an opportunity, and this one's often missed, to meet and network with other business people in your community to actually go along to these events and exhibit and set up and speak to potential clients. But it's also a really great opportunity to speak to other business people with and to forge those really, really, really important business relationships so that you can go forward and be reputable and recommended by people. And so that you get to know, you're almost part of it. It's like a bit of a clique, I suppose, after a while, especially if you're in a smaller community like I have been in a regional area. It has been a really wonderful opportunity to go to events and to network with those like-minded business people as well. It's great for business. Going to events and exhibiting is also a fabulous training and educational opportunity for your team. There is nothing better than teaching customer service on the ground with your team at an event where they're actually doing it while you're there, and you're doing it with them. You're showing them. You're developing their knowledge within the product range and within how to create and sustain interest in bookings and create those bookings and secure them in. It is a really great opportunity for leaders to really help their team get to the next level, because you are all there doing it on the spot live. You're live to everybody. So it is a really great opportunity for learning for everybody, including leaders. And it also gives you an opportunity to celebrate your success. And at lots of events that I've done, there's nothing better than in that last hour of the exhibit, having a glass of champagne with your team and celebrating the fact that you're here and you've made a big difference to the day. You've experienced dynamic business growth through getting your name out there and your message out there. And it's a great way to come together and uplift and celebrate with each other. So events have got lots of different needs, like I suppose benefits for what you can get out of it. And as you can see, there are 6 really powerful benefits for why events are so valuable for your business. So if you've been afraid to perhaps initiate some of that, this might give you a little bit of confidence in knowing what the benefits are for you and what you're going to get out of those events. And it is so, so, so worth it. So to follow on from that, you think, oh, that's just great, but how do I actually do that? I've put together some top tips for you for planning your events, and I would like to share those for you because these are things that you can take away and do straight away. Firstly, identify what your niche is, your target market, your location or the location of the event, and the price. So when you hear about perhaps the upcoming local bridal fair, have a think. Is it within your niche? Is it within your target market? And I would think yes, for everybody that's a PASH consultant, it certainly is. You need to look at the location. Is it within a reasonable distance from where you are? And of course, the price. The other thing you might want to consider here is, sometimes that price can be a little bit higher than what you're expecting, and it is perfectly okay to team up with somebody else within the network and share that cost. So that you can actually get out there and get moving and basically get selling and get booking. You want to make sure that you've got a very clear purpose and goals and structure for the event. So you need to know before you walk into the bridal fair what your purpose is. What are you hoping to get out of that event? And more often than not, I see a lot of businesses going into events and they just set up for the day and have a great time and go home, and they don't really think about what they could have gained from having that exposure. So things like, just to throw some ideas around, that lead generation is really, really important. About, the purpose really is to gain more business through bookings and recruitment, and your goals is how you're actually going to do that. So if your purpose is to make sure that you've got lots of lead generation, your goal might be to get 10 consultant leads and 50 people in your bookings interest list through something like perhaps a giveaway or a raffle or something like that. And going into an event with really clear goals on what you want to achieve is really vital, because in the honest truth, when you go to things like bridal fairs and Chicks at the Flicks, you tend to give a lot of information out, but you don't tend to get a lot of on-the-spot bookings. You might get a couple, you might get some here or there or some interest, but it really isn't until, and I'll talk to you about this in a moment, but it really isn't until that follow-up after the event that you really secure those in. But to be able to do that, you have to have those people's information so that you're able to contact them. So it is important to go into an event with a very clear mindset on what you want to achieve and what you want to get out of it for your business. Another top tip for planning your event is to make sure that at every opportunity you've maximized your visibility. And this extends right from setting up and having a really beautiful stall and really having a beautiful table and all of the products and things that you have there, right through to maximizing other opportunities that are held within the event. And I'll give you a very specific example in that if, for example, you are having an exhibit at a bridal fair, getting involved in their fashion show is one of the biggest #1 ways to maximize your visibility, because it promotes your business and it promotes your location within the facility as well. And I will show you some pictures of actually where we've done this in a moment. And it's really fantastic where people can see some of the lingerie and see some of the products on people, and it really helps to maximize that visibility for your business. It's a great marketing tool. And of course, the profit is actually in the follow-up. And I mentioned before that it's not so much what you secure on the day, but what you secure after your event that's really vital. And to be able to pick up the phone and have somebody's name and phone number and perhaps a little bit of information about themselves is really vital, to be able to pick up the phone and, let them know how excited you were to meet them on Saturday at the bridal fair or on Wednesday at the Chicks at the Flicks, and that you would really love to offer them the opportunity to indulge in some free products through hosting a party of their own and indulging in some shopping rewards and things like that for their sales. So being able to make all of those calls to your leads after the event is actually the most vital part of the process. And I could nearly do a whole nother webinar on just that alone. So I just wanted to put that out there, that the lead generation, going back to that purpose, goals and structure, is really important, because without that and without that lead generation, the follow-up is very difficult to do. And I've had a lot of success through doing this myself, where I mightn't have any bookings on the day of a bridal fair, but within the week after, I may have had up to 10 bookings because I've been able to follow through, follow up, and make that personal connection and build a relationship with somebody. So it is really, really important to be able to follow up with people. So I wanted to share with you some of my events, and you'll see I look very young. Tim looks really good, actually. I'm just looking at it. So over the years through my PASH business, I probably would have done, I was looking back at all the photos for this presentation, and I probably would have counted at least maybe 15 events or so in the 3.5, 4 years. And of course, we went on to do more events with our next business, which is Wicked Waiters. And I've got some photos just for the eye candy for that to show you as well. And it just was the biggest eye opener. The picture that you're seeing is the promo picture that we did for our very, very first event. It was a girls' night in event, and we held it at a nightclub. We did lots of promo. We were really excited. And this was my first ever consultant that I recruited. Her name's Emma. And you can see we had a very basic stand. And the event in 2009 raised just $200. And we were really thrilled with that at the time. But I wanted to share a couple of things with you about that were really pivotal in how we moved forward with events from this point. So I wanted to talk to you about my lead generation fail, because without a fail, you can't grow, you can't get better in anything. As you can see, this looks absolutely gorgeous. And what you're actually looking at is a series of prizes, I suppose, from lots of different businesses within our community. There were a couple of PASH ones, and people were able to buy raffle tickets and write their name and phone number on any of the little tickets and pop them in the jar. And some people wrote their name, some people wrote both. We didn't check. We didn't have an actual little form for them. And of course, at the end of the night, when someone was cleaning up, all of the leftover leads got thrown in the bin. All of my follow-up was gone. I couldn't make any phone calls to anybody. We had very happy winners. You can see there's probably at least 20 prizes there. And, you know, we had some very happy people, but in terms of my business growth, that was a big fail for me. And it was a really big aha moment, because I knew that was where my business growth was going to be, and it went straight into the bin at the nightclub. So I wanted to share that with you. Make sure that when you get people's information, you keep it and no one else throws that out, because it was very devastating for us. It also was an opportunity for business growth. This is a little bit of a hint here. I look back at 2009 and I think this was a bit of business growth in disguise, because I did later go on to have a very successful events business in shirtless waiters and hens parties. But this, at this point, was just simply a novelty. It was something that really fit with our theme, and it was fun and exciting, and it truly paid off. But then we moved to our next year. So we actually did another girls' night in 12 months later at the same venue, and this time we raised $2,600, and it was massive. We had about probably 150 so come through. It was quite successful, but my whole team that were there had very clear goals in mind about what we were trying to achieve for our business, as well as providing the fun. So we were all working as a team, all working towards the same thing. We were all working towards those leads. We were going to split those leads. We were all going to be able to go away and make those phone calls and grow our businesses from there. And what we did, just to give you some ideas, is we secured a theme and we secured some novelties. So the headgear that you can see on this particular queen was actually designed by Michael Gates, and Michael Gates is a local man who is a drag queen, and he has actually patented that particular type of wig, and his wigs were featured in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So we were very fortunate to have him and his friend on board, and it was because of he's actually got shows touring the country at the moment about these patent headgear. So, and this is years later. So you can see that that was a really big pull for us. And of course, because he was such a significant person within our community, it pulled a lot of really high key business people to our event as well, which was really great. These are the kinds of things that you could be looking for in your own communities as well. Who have you got in your communities who are key people, almost like local celebrities and things like that can help to raise the awareness of what you're trying to do. Our team had an amazing evening. These were just some of our team that were there. I did have a large team at that time, and apart from the Queen there, you can see that there were about 6 of us there, but there were more behind the scenes working as well. We had fashion shows, we had all sorts of things happening, and everyone did a great time, and it was an exceptional experience for us to bond as a team and to work collaboratively towards a goal, and to know that we'd raised that kind of money at the end. And everyone went away with a really big wad of leads at the end of the night. That was huge for us. So we were really happy with our efforts. Took days to recover. We provided lots of experiences. We had nail technicians, we had massage therapists, we had all sorts of things. These were the kinds of experiences we were able to provide within our community. People were really happy to jump on board. And we also provided lots of different entertainment. So you can see we did have a couple of pole dance shows, and we also had belly dance shows as well. And those were other businesses within the community that really wanted to jump on board with us. And they alone brought with them the volume of people that we needed to not only have a really successful event, but to grow our leads and also to raise that kind of money. So they also brought people in with them. We also had an opportunity to showcase our product. So we're going back to the 2000 here. So Jo, you might recognize all of this lingerie, but we've got Lena here, and she's wearing our little corset number. I've actually still got all this lingerie, absolutely beautiful. We had just lots of ladies willing to come and help us out and to model for us. We also had Big W did a big fashion show, and a couple of other stores within our community as well also participated. But it was a great opportunity to actually show everybody what PASH showcased and what they were able to purchase if they were to host parties and things like that. But the key there is we also invited lots of other businesses to do the same thing. We had a photo booth, as you can see here. We had Lorraine Lee Linen, which I know is a clash in what we sold, but I felt it was a really important way to make connections within other businesses in our community and to show our support and work together. And I think that one is Nutrimedics, I'm not sure. So you've got there quite a few. We had lots of them. These were the only photos I could grab for you. And of course, over the years, this is another event. We've done bridal fairs. This was a display that I had, I think this was 2010, and we had you can see my little television there in the middle, and we had slideshows of all of the images going around all the time, mixed with book your party, earn extra money, that kind of thing, really to get people's attention. And just a bit of a close-up here of my raffle. The total prize value in there was $154. And that was our lead generation. You can just actually see on top of the box there the little PASH entry forms that Jo will have if you would like to order them. And they are really great because it not only collects the person's name, phone number, email address, it also allows them to tick whether or not they may be interested in booking a party or becoming a consultant. And it's a really great way for them to let you know without having to perhaps have that difficult conversation as well. So that is the core of the event for us, is collecting that information, and giving away that amount of product is well worth the collection of the number of entries and information and data that we've got. And I will just give you a little hint on that, is to make sure that there is always an opt-out box on your entry forms, that if they don't wish to receive any information from you, whether it's email, phone call, you do have to give them an opportunity to opt out legally, to say that no, they don't wish to receive any further correspondence. And it's really important that you do adhere to that, because it is a legality that you must follow. You can't harass people that have indicated that they don't wish to be contacted. But we've still got all of our entry forms right back from 2009 to now, because we've kept them for 7 years. We just thought that it would be easier, just in case, to make sure that we've kept that kind of information. So Tim and I have got every entry form from every bridal fair we've ever done still in our office. So do make sure that you hang on to those as well. Just another bit of a shot of the things that we had on display. And this was some of my team that came along that day. Sherry Lee, who is on the far left there in the pink singlet, she actually wasn't part of my team, but she lived within the 2 hours of us. and she heard what we were doing, and she said, I want to drive up. I know I'm not part of your team, but could I just get in on it? I'll pay part of the stall fee, and I really want to grow my business. And she did, and it was fantastic. And eventually she did end up working with my team quite a bit, which was really lovely, and it created a lovely bond and professional conversation and dialogue between everybody, which was really fun and exciting. Just another one that we did, you can see on the left there, we did get the banner from PASH, and I eventually ended up getting these made for myself. And I've also just wanted to point out in this particular photo, the little PASH bags that I have there on the left. And you can see I've got Saturday the 7th of May, Friday the 24th of April. These were actually an idea that I had, which was star booking packages, that if anyone booked on the spot, they actually got to take that little bag away, and it did have a product of significant value inside it. So that was just a little bit of an extra, I suppose, a bookings generation that I had. I must have had those dates available, and I really wanted to book them. So we included those in there as well. That's just another angle of it. You can see I've got the lingerie there on the right and some bits and pieces. Really fun, really interactive. People were really keen to come up and have a look through the stuff. This is another one that I had. I just wanted to give you guys lots of examples. Got my little TV there. Oh, and I'll just throw this one in because it's gorgeous. This is Andrew, and this is my Wicked Waiters business. But what I really wanted to show you here, apart from his abs and his gorgeousness, was the fact that I did apply the same sorts of principles into this display that I always had with my PASH ones as well. You can see on the left there that I had an opportunity to gather leads. It was still really important for me to be able to add people to my mailing list for Wicked Waiters, and also to ensure that I had details of people that I could market to at any time. And I also used it on those event forms that are on the left there, the competition entry forms. I also asked them for their most amazing hens party entertainment idea. And Tim and I used to come home and we'd look through those, and we would think to ourselves, what could we, read those and think, what could we do with these ideas to better the service that we're giving out? And that was a really powerful thing, and that you guys can do as well, is to speak to the people that are your target market and find out what they want so that you can deliver to them exactly what they're looking for. So just very quickly, how can you get started? These are just some very quick ideas. Research events. Google what's happening in Tamworth for events, for ladies' events or bridal fairs and things like that, and create a list of events that you might be able to inquire about. Schedule yourself into your diary to contact those events, contact those people that are running them and get some more information. Book it in, ask for support, ring head office, say, Joe, I'm thinking of doing a bridal fair in Tamworth. What could you do to support me? Or please feel free to contact me and ask the same question, because we would love to help you to really have success with these events. Plan your purpose and your goals and exactly what you want to get out of your event. Practice your setup. So have a practice at home, get your table set up. How might it look? Having that prepared in advance and knowing what it's going to look like will save you a lot of time on the day. You can create an events bag. So we used to have a suitcase that had everything in it, from sticky tape, glue tack, string, you name it, anything in there that we might have needed was already in that bag, and all we had to do was also just take our demonstration bag along with our products in it. So that was a really a great way to save time and hassle and stress when we got to an event. Talk to your mentors, talk to other people, find out what they've done in the past, because that will be a huge game changer for you. And also plan for a fundraising event, which are often a really nice way to get into events, is to host a fundraiser of your own for any type of charity that you would like to support, and to have proceeds going to that charity is a really lovely way to sort of have a practice run with your events. Brainstorm your ways to increase your visibility. So depending on your event, you might look at doing some of the fashion shows or whatnot, and really being able to maximise how many people see you within that venue. Order lots of marketing materials. That's a great way to get started. Have it all ready to go. Have your join the PASH team, have your book a party pamphlets and flyers ready to go, so that you have those on hand when you do your events. And also perhaps look at creating a bit of a marketing plan that includes events in your business. So I might actually put a screenshot of this up on the group so that you guys can go back and look back at this, because I think it's really important to pick some things to get started with if you're looking at doing some events, and so that you can actually take action and move forward, and you know that it's not that scary to put together an events bag. So I know that we've gone way over time, and it was my fault that I had an internet instability issue. But is Nakia still on our call?
Still here.
Great. I know. You remember I messaged you and I said we're going to be really tight on time. Remember that?
Well, we actually.
But I know that you had an amazing time in your event with your event, and I just hope that you might share with everybody just your top 3 tips for running an event like you've done.
Well, we kind of summed it up while you were having your technical issues.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
To recap quickly, I would probably say first top tip is obviously do all the research that you've basically just outlined, which is probably something that I should have picked your brain about, considering you're supposed to speak to mentors when you do these event things.
We tried, we couldn't set it up.
I know, it was shocking. I'm so busy with my day job. Second tip, I would definitely have to say is customer service. If you spoil those ladies like they're the queens, treat them like queens, spoil them rotten, they love it. That's all I can say. And my third tip, which I've sort of led by the whole way through, is if you're willing to go the extra mile for these ladies and willing to travel, I mean, it was 4.5 hours from my house. It's well worth it, because I tell you what, the ladies I've met have now set me up for bigger events to come.
Beautiful.
So it's just commitment, I think, and drive. So I love PASH. I stand behind it 100% with passion and desire, because it helped me through my last 15 years. So
fabulous.
Yeah.
Well done, Nakia, and you did a really great job, and I love seeing all of the photos, and it was fun and it was educational, and like you said, it's just created this big ricochet effect for your business, which is fantastic. So that's great. Thank you so much. That's fantastic. Okay. So, of course, I really like to end the session with some actionable things for you to go away and do. And, you know, please don't think of events as being scary or overwhelming. They are so exciting and inspirational, and they just create the most amazing business growth. So I want to challenge you, if anyone's up for the challenge, to research some local events within your area, and they can be anything from that list I showed at the beginning, fates or fundraisers or something like that, and have a little look around and see what's coming up in the next few months in your community. And I want you to maybe commit to inquiring with at least 2 of those events. And by inquiring, what I mean is initiate the conversation with the organizer. Be brave enough to take that step and say, hi, this is my name, this is where I'm from, this is what I do. I would really love to be part of your event. Can you tell me some more? Because often initiating that contact with an organizer can be the scariest part. If you don't get a response, if you want to email and you don't get a response within a week or so, be brave enough to pick up the phone and follow through. Because at the end of the day, think about big successful businesses. They don't shy away when they don't get a response. They push, and they grow and they grow, and they become more and more successful. So please make sure that you get to speak to somebody and you have a contact person and just see what they can offer you. Have a bit of a conversation about price, and don't be afraid to ask some important questions, such as how many people do you anticipate having come through your event, and you know, tell me about things that have happened in the past, or how much money have you raised in the past for your event. Ask them those questions and see whether or not it would be an opportunity for you to exhibit at their event. And my last thing is, once you've done those 2 things, you've researched, you've inquired, and you've spoken with somebody, is to reach out to either head office, reach out to myself, or reach out to another consultant. Nakia, I'm sure, would be more than happy to answer some questions and get some advice on the sorts of things you might be able to do for an event, so that we can get you hosting and exhibiting and growing your business and achieving all that really exciting success. So that's my challenge to you. And I know a few of you have got some ideas in there for some upcoming things, but for those of you who haven't, I would really encourage you to take the chance on this and to experience the success that is ready and waiting for you. So at that, and I want to apologise again for my technical glitch. Everything just went black, but we got through it, and I hope that it's been beneficial for you. And if anyone's got any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them for you.
Mine would be, how did you get people to come to your desk? I've done other sort of fairs, just, for volunteer, whatever. And the biggest issue has been actually to get people to come to your stall. We would have, all sorts of different things to drag people in and encourage it. But what did you do?
Do you mean in terms of coming to the event or coming to your actual stall?
Your actual stall, your table.
To your table. Okay. I think having something that is, well, to be honest, this is going to be probably a bit left field, but I really think that the position in which you stand at your stall can make a really big difference to whether or not people want to approach you. And I know that sounds really trivial, but I feel that if you stand behind your table, it's not you doing that customer service part. It's not you initiating the conversation with people. I also felt if I stood in front of the stall or if my team members stood in front of the stall, it was almost creating a barrier to people coming to you. They felt kind of a little bit intimidated perhaps in a way to actually come up and look at the product, especially considering the nature of the product. So I actually found that standing to the side but slightly behind was a really good place to go so that you could make eye contact and draw people in, because you sort of don't want to push people away before they get there, but you don't want to let them sort of come on their own, because sometimes they don't, as we know, make it all the way to the table. So I think positioning would be my number one piece of advice, is to be very cautious of not only how many people you have at your store, but also where you position yourself within that store. And also having a competition or something that they're able to get for free in a really predominant spot on your table is a really big draw card, because everybody loves to win something. And it's a great way for you to initiate them coming over to the table as well and say, look, we've got a great raffle on offer today. It's worth $190. Come along. It's free to enter. That's also a really great way to draw people in. And as they're filling out their information, you can engage in some conversation with them about whatever it is that you'd like to go ahead and speak to them about. So that would be my big two tips would be your position, and it would also be your draw card, your competition. So I hope that's helpful, Sarah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Also, I add something on that just because I found doing a few of the chicks and the Mardi Gras and market stalls and that, if you still, like, all of that normally works, but I found, like, at the market stalls, people still shy away because it's the middle of the daytime, whereas at the chicks and things, it really just helps you to stand aside and they all come over and enter the competition. But of a daytime at the market stalls and things like that, it's sort of like a different atmosphere. People have got that shy persona, so they really do just look at you and look the other direction. So I find getting out there, walk a couple of meters away from your table, get out and socialise with the group. I always take, well, not always, but sometimes the little ball of dust up, and I'll just walk a couple of meters or a meter or so out the front of my table or away from it. And if the girls look in my direction or make eye contact, look in the direction of the table, show a bit of interest, I'm just like, oh, would you like, that's when you put the offer out of, would you like to try the dust up or whatever it is you've got on your person. And that's when
I agree, Beck. I think that the time of the day and the type of event that you're at will really determine your target market that you're trying to get. And I think at daytime markets and things like that, it can be more challenging because people are in that daytime family sort of mode. They're not in their personal space mode, I suppose. They're themselves, and they're not ready to let their hair down at 10 a.m. in the morning. Yeah.
you got to wait for the opportune moment to sort of draw them to the table. So in those
Yes.
sort of circumstances, it's about sort of putting in the hard work to get out there and make yourself noticed.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Beck.
That probably comes back to what you said at the start about really understanding your audience.
Yes.
Yeah, but and I would also say, Sarah, that the new techniques all the time. The main thing is to put it out there to me at head office, to Tash. We can brainstorm some solutions depending on the event that you're doing, and come up with some new creative ideas to help ensure that you can connect with the people that are going to be there in a way which is going to be appropriate to the audience. So. Different things will work. But I have found the dust up is great. The competition always works really well. People will generally enter. They like to see what they're winning, and being really proactive and friendly. I think we could probably all learn a little bit from and they're very annoying, but the people that stand on the street for the charities and get people to sign up. Now, they're really annoying, but it obviously works as a strategy, which is why they embraced it so wholeheartedly. And what they do very well is be exceptionally friendly, very outgoing, and just get up and approach people and make a comment, if you're at an event. And that's what I found through all the events that we've done. We've tried so many different things. Free lollipops works really well too, stuff like that. But it's been the consultants that are outgoing and engaging and basically doing what Beck just said and communicating and connecting. That will definitely draw them in as well. So, but we'd love to help work with anyone that's doing events to come up with some great ways to make it successful.
Absolutely.
Right.
Are there any other questions? I just thought I'd go back to this while we're talking.
Half-naked men tend to work. I think that's what Beck resorted to. Didn't you get your hubby to get his shirt off, Beck?
Yeah, that was the other week. No, he's not that cheeky bugger. Because Bree was over for dinner and he just decided to chop up strawberries and all the rest of it and come in with his top off. Got all excited.
So that works too. Half-naked men, there you go.
Yeah.
I tried to convince my husband the other day that we should have something like this down in Tasmania, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
You'll come around.
We'll have to keep working on him, Sarah.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
He'll definitely come around. My partner was like that, and then he ended up being a topless waiter at my first bridal expo. And now he's knowing about the idea. But on that note,
is he going a mile, is he?
Yeah. I just got a call from the Effin' Hot boys, Effin' Hot Cairns, the other day about collaborating the PASH business here in Cairns.
Great.
And I'm meeting up with the business owner, Renee, on Wednesday next week, so that's good.
Yeah.
Well, Beck, you and I need to have a conversation about that because there's already been a very close affiliation between PASH and Effin' Hot in the past that I can fill you in on, and it's been very beneficial. And I'm actually very good friends with the original owner of that. So, let's talk about that.
Lady, yes, I've been stalking them out. That was Bree Hargraves. But
Yeah.
I've been stalking everybody, don't worry. I've been getting myself educated. But
What are they?
the lead lady who runs Vixen parties here in town has let them down big time with a hens night next weekend. So she called me up to see if I could do it, but unfortunately Aphrodite's Angel had already snuck in under the rug. But Renee and I had a really good conversation, and she wants to start promoting my business on her page.
Fabulous.
So that's going to happen. And
That's wonderful.
this is the topic that I've chosen for my BSA meeting on Wednesday as well. I've chosen the events topic. So,
good.
This has just helped me fill in a lot of the blanks. I was just filling in my blanks of all my...
Good. Fantastic. Well, I'd like to see that's worked. All right, ladies. Well, we might leave it there. Thank you so much, Tash. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry about the glitch. I can't explain
it. Happens. All right. All good. All right, guys.
Bye, everyone.
See ya. Bye.
See you.